second of 5 presentation ceremonies. Some of us were fortunate enough to be here last evening to witness the first of it. As usual, we expected lots of pomp and pageantry associated with university graduations and official functions. We were not disappointed last evening. We saw exactly what we expected, and we're hoping to see a similar kind of celebration this morning. This is the UWI's presentation of graduate ceremony for the year 2022. This is a number of faculties and departments. So you're seeing engineering, science and technology, sport, Institute of Gender and Development. So you're seeing a number of different faculties and institutes this morning. A great celebration in that tent. You can just imagine a culmination of some 3 to 5 years of work, and it comes down to this one moment when families and friends and the university at large come together to acknowledge work well done. Now you're seeing, of course, the marshals guiding the students to their different assigned seats. Right? You may not see this, but great detail is being displayed here. Their names attached to seats, and the order is precise so as to facilitate a smooth flow when the names are called, so as not to have bottlenecks where we don't want to have bottlenecks, and to ensure that each graduate gets the deserved attention. This is a big moment for all, and families have come from far and wide. We have persons who are from the other parts of the Caribbean. We acknowledge all the Caribbean territories. As you know, UWI is really supported by Caribbean territories, and so all students are here this morning celebrating. So you can imagine parents are here from across the Caribbean. Students would have returned for graduation, and you can see the faces just wanting to get into the ceremony and to collect that carousel in hand, that will read your degree. When you get to UWI, and one of the first letter you get, the acceptance letter, it says that you are invited to the institution to read for your degree. And so, understandably, at the end with the carousel, they'll read that degree. Standard for the UWI's graduation, you're seeing the ladies in white and the men in dark suits, and of course the blue gown with the hood. And you're seeing a number of different color hoods because each color would represent different faculties, and we have a number of faculties today. It's a combination. In fact, it's one of the biggest combination we have to date. Later on this afternoon, you'll have MSBM only. My apologies. Social Sciences only, without MSBM. So you will have the Faculty of Social Sciences featuring strongly later on this afternoon. But now you have a combination of faculties. There's engineering, science and technology, sport, Institute of Gender and Development Studies. So you can just imagine the celebration that is going to be happening in the tent in short order. This is the first of the procession. This is the graduate procession. That is Danielle. She is actually the valedictorian for this ceremony, so you will hear her in full flight shortly. She is Danielle Mullings, and she was the guild president for the UWI Mona last academic year. So featuring there, and of course the graduates coming in. A little bit of fanning, in this kind of moment when you have your best makeup on, you just have to keep it the right kind of way, keep it. So the tent is a good temperature. So I think when they get into the tent, of course they would have lined up for some 30 minutes before getting into the tent, and they would have been lined up outside under tents. That may be a little bit warm, and I suspect that's the remnants of it now. But as they get into the tent, they will get to some cool space. Now, this is the University of the West Indies, Mona, and just to remind you that we're an internationally recognized university rooted in the Caribbean since 1948, right? This university has provided service and leadership in its mission to advance sustainable development for the survival of the Caribbean economy and society. Still seeing our graduates making their entrance. And a little bit more on the UWI. This institution has consistently ranked among the top universities globally. And this ranking is coming from one of the most reputable ranking agency, the Times Higher Education. So we have it on good source. It is the only Caribbean-based university to make this prestigious ranking since its debut in 2018. In addition to its leading position in the Caribbean, the UWI is also ranked in the top 25, where? In Latin America and the Caribbean. It is also featured among the leading universities in the Times Higher Education ranking. So impressive. The university started way back in 1948. It was then the University of London, and it had 33 medical students. We have grown regionally to over 50,000 students, but started with 33. Truly a miraculous growth. It is now today an internationally respected global university with 5 campuses. There's Mona in Jamaica, St. Augustine in Trinidad and Tobago, Cave Hill in Barbados, and the newest of the lot, the 5 islands in Antigua and Barbuda. There's also the UWI Open Campus, which is our online and off-site campus, because it does have some face-to-face features as well. And that's not it. In addition to 10 global centers in partnership with universities in North America, Latin America, Asia, Africa, and Europe, we're now seeing the graduates entering the tent. Look at those faces. Beautiful, the smiles, the confidence. They've done this. They have earned it. A day of accomplishment that they are sharing with family, with friends, with the online community, of course. Today they'll get to meet some of the persons they've never met by virtue of what the UWI is. So the Chancellor, for example, lives in Trinidad. But today he's here and he will shake their hand. The Vice Chancellor, who has responsibility for overseeing the administrative function of campus, or the campuses, may not always be available, though he pops in quite frequently at functions for us to see him. But today, more than ever, he's present. The university, in all its glory, is on show this morning for its graduates. You're seeing smiles, you're seeing beautiful hairstyles. You're seeing it all this morning. This is the second of 5 graduations that we're seeing here at the UWI. And in this graduation, we're seeing engineering students, science and technology students, students in sport, and students from the Institute of Gender and Development Studies. A beautiful shot of the graduates, both those who have already taken their places and those coming in. Again, we're seeing excellent marshalling there, orderly, timely, nobody tripping over anything and nobody rushing. There's beautiful strains of the UWI Panorhythm Steel Orchestra being played. They've been entertaining us for the past hour or so, and they will continue to play until the graduates would have been in their respective places. Each year it's a huge tradition for the Panorhythm Steel Orchestra to play for us. They have been flawless in their delivery. Later on we'll also see another feature star, the University Singers. They'll come a little bit later on. Another treat as well. So we boast excellent extracurricular activities here at the UWI. You're seeing 2 on display in music, but there's a similar elegance and dominance in sports, in the arts, in service. We can't show it all today. In fact, maybe we have. You're seeing the faces who've made all this possible. The smiles, and now we focus again on the Panorhythm Steel Orchestra, beautifully decked out in full black with a dash of blue. Excellent, looking resplendent, and as usual, the wonderful performers they are, smiling, even with all that technical work and that length of time delivering. They still have the energy, they still bring it. So we're seeing inside of the tent, of course, beautifully decorated. The roof is just an array of colors. There's red, there's yellow, there's blue. Of course, these are the colors of the UWI, the official colors, and we look forward to seeing these colors when we have our official functions. Again, a frontal shot of the graduates, smiles. We're still seeing the numbers. Now, we have over 4,000 students graduating this year. This is no small number. This is also the first face-to-face graduation since the COVID-19 pandemic shut us down in 2020, right? So the last face-to-face graduation we had would have been in November of 2019. And now in the year 2022, our first face-to-face. Though we have watched the online graduations, and we like them too. Nothing like the face-to-face vibe. Nothing like seeing these faces, seeing friends, celebrating with each other. Flawless faces. Nothing is going to go wrong today because this is a huge moment they've been all waiting for. I'm loving the smiles. Well, we should be coming up shortly on the procession of the academic staff. We also mentioned the graduate. We also mentioned the valedictorian, Danielle Mullings, and Danielle is a multidisciplinary graduate of the Faculty of Science and Technology with interests including technology leadership and the arts. Danielle found her love for technology at Campion College, where she placed regionally and nationally in the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exam Computer Science. That's at CAPE. She was placed regionally and nationally in that. Of course, she went on to be involved in a range of things, including media, and she was also the guild president for the last academic year. So we are expecting, her to deliver a wonderful message to the graduates. We are coming shortly on the procession update. We should be seeing the academic procession coming in shortly. And the academic procession carries a kind of form, right? So it's important for us to see that it's a part of the ceremony. It's a part of getting it right. It's a part of protocol. And so the academic procession that will be coming in, you will see the marshals first. Those are the ushers, really. This will be followed by members of the Guild of Students, members of the UWI Alumni Association, the Jamaica chapter, as well as members of the University Council, right? I remind you that the faculties today graduating are engineering, science and technology, sport, and Institute of Gender and Development Studies. We're seeing most of the graduates seated at this point. This would be a sign that any minute now we are going to segue to the next set of procession. We're still seeing some coming in. Of course, this is a big body of students, but what we're hoping to see now will be the PhD candidates coming in, and those candidates who will come in at the PhD level will be different. You'll see red gowns piped with black, and of course their hood will be black. So you will see them in their splendor. Of course, you would recognize and appreciate years of hard work, especially in the sciences. This is sometimes up to 10 years worth of work. It's not a small feat. Why? Because it's research-based work, and it takes a lot of time. So you can appreciate that. Of course, that's Danielle Mullings, the valedictorian we spoke about earlier. She's smiling, composed. That's a good sign for a presentation. Still seeing at this time members of the graduating party taking their places. We are looking to see the signature red gowns signaling the graduates who are at the PhD level after they would take their spaces in their designated spaces, and here they are. And we're seeing within that frame, I'm seeing a number of familiar faces. including Nadine Spence, that most of us know as an advocate and a television personality. So we're seeing a number of persons here. A big moment, a moment that really requires a kind of somber but exciting vibe. We have seen the PhD students taking their places. I think that's it. We should be hearing the next. When the door opens again, hopefully we'll be seeing the procession for the academics. They have taken their seats. And you're hearing the strains of this steel band. I suspect we will also hear a different sound signaling the arrival of the academic procession. That sometime, of course, may change from year to year. So, yes, all are seated now in the correct order. Faces are still alight with joy. Some persons, I suspect, are reflecting now that they're in the space on this moment at this time. Flashbacks of all the hard work. And they're saying to themselves, look where I'm at. I'm here. I've made it. Again, of course, the frame there is focusing on Nadine Spence, one of us, who we know from just her time here on campus. And again, wonderful shots of just students interacting with each other, smiling, sharing. It's one of those moments when you hardly see them on their cell phones. Maybe I may talk a little bit too quickly, but I'm not even seeing that much. I'm just seeing them interacting with each other and just anticipating the moment. In this generation, it's not very often that you see people so focused and looking ahead. The tendency is to look down on the phones or to take selfies. None of that is happening at the moment. They understand the purpose of function. They understand this moment, and even if they would be taking a selfie, we would forgive them. Well, we see a phone. So it's not, but for the most part, we're just seeing the concentration and the focus of this moment. Well done. Clearly they're having some conversations or being given some direction by the marshal. We're not seeing that currently on screen, but clearly something is happening there, giving them a little extra moment to, to smile. There's an eyebrow, some eyebrows moving. So we're seeing some personalities in the audience, of course. What would a graduation be without personality? And we're seeing, all right, there's some personalities again. Nice. Bold earrings. And some people they're realizing that they're focusing on the camera. They're realizing the camera is focusing on them. One of either one. but they are smiling for the moment naturally. We are now anticipating the academic procession, and in this moment you will see the procession, that is, you will see the marshals, the Guild of Students, the Alumni Association members, members of the university campus council. So we are anticipating them. Shortly after that, you will have the Chancellor's procession, and we'll give you a little bit more about the Chancellor's procession in short order. So a good job there focusing on the graduates. It's their moment, it's their time. Give them that moment to shine. Of course, UWI's motto is Oriens el Occidente Lux, a light shining from the west. So it's all about shining. And these are our stars. If ever we are to shine, these are our stars, right? And we also we're hearing the strains of the academic procession coming in now. The doors will open shortly. So that's the sound of the academic procession. Many of us have become accustomed to these sounds now. And here they are. They enter from the side of the graduation space. They'll walk across and they'll now come up the aisle. And that's what you're seeing. And then they'll take their place at the left of stage. Of course, at this level, you're seeing a lot of PhDs and professors. It comes with the territory. These are experts in their fields and heads of faculties and leaders. We take pride in them. The academic procession is now coming in. Of course, the marshal goes first. Moment of great pride and ceremony. So many of the students in the audience would have been touched by these hands, these minds, would have been mentored, possibly. These are staff members, academics who would be coming from a range of institutions, but specifically a lot of them would have been from the faculties I would have mentioned before. They make it a duty to turn up today, if not any other day. And we're seeing some style and flair. There's I didn't even know a scarf could be worn in that kind of way, but it's well done. We're seeing a little bit of attitude and style, and I love that. That's what UWI is about. It's about statement. And we're certainly making our statements here today. Of course, we're seeing professors at the front. And we're still seeing some people wearing the masks, which is still a recommended activity for huge functions. and the marshal would have indicated that. We get to the end now of this procession. We now turn our eyes to the Chancellor's procession, and the Chancellor's party will have the Chief Marshal, the Campus Registrar, Deans of Faculties, President of the UWI Alumni Chapter, Jamaica, the University Registrar, the Public Orator, and University Registrar, the Deputy Principals, and the Pro-Vice Chancellors, the Campus Principal, the Vice Chancellor, and Chairman of the Mona Council. We'll also see featuring the Mace Bearer, who is actually the UWI Guild President, the Mona Guild President, and of course the Chancellor. He will come in at the end, the highest ranking officer in the space. Of course, University Singers will now perform before the Chancellor party arrives. So I did mention before the University Singers, here they are.
Ambition and the Almighty One as your foundation. Hey, nobody get rich as you, cause that is definitely wrong. And baby, don't forget your friends and where you come from. If you a thief, remember God not sleep. And although you rob a man and you get well and sweet, you up a laugh out the street, cause you're beating going sweet. Jah a silent river and Jah know him run deep. Throughout history, lots of great men and women went about things the old-fashioned way. They just kept on winning and winning. So strive, step up in life and go for what you know. You got to strive, remove the doubt from out your mind and let God know. People who think they're winning, keep moving on, man, you gotta be strong. And don't indulge in self-pity. Just strive, step up in life and go for what you know. You got to strive, remove the doubt from out your mind and let good flow.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our graduation ceremony, I would like to remind you of a few important matters. Could you please turn off your cellular phones now or turn them to silent? Please remember that the university provides an official photographer who will take photographs while the graduates are receiving their certificates. Graduates, please be advised that instructions to access your photographs taken during this ceremony will be sent to you via email in due course. No unauthorized persons will be allowed to access the presentation area during the ceremony. The university shares in your pride at this graduation, but we appeal for restraint when the names are called so that all graduates may be able to hear their names clearly. Graduates, you and your guests are expected to remain for the duration of the ceremony. Please keep the aisles clear at all times. Emergency medical service is available at the front, at the undercroft, and at the rear of the tent. As you will have observed, exit signs are clearly marked. You are asked to note the location nearest to you. In case of any emergency, the ushers will guide you to the nearest assembly point. At the end of this ceremony, we ask all families and friends to remain seated until the graduates' procession has exited the tent. The area will be needed to be immediately prepared for our next graduation ceremony. We're therefore appealing to graduates, families, and friends to assist us by leaving the tent as quickly as possible. You are welcome to celebrate outside. We wish you a very enjoyable ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem and remain standing for the Chancellor's procession.
The University Singers will now perform or lead in the singing of the national anthem, rather. Excellent rendition there by the University Singers, and of course all persons are asked to keep standing as the Chancellor Party enters. Again, we're seeing the campus registrar, the deans of faculties, president of the UWI alumni chapter, the Jamaica chapter, University Bursar, public orator, and university registrar, deputy principals and pro-vice chancellors, the campus principal, the vice chancellor, chairman of the Mona Campus Council. We're seeing the mace bearer and the UWI Mona Guild president. That's the mace bearer, that is traditionally so, and the chancellor. You're seeing the mace coming now, of course, with being carried so gracefully by the Guild president. And the mace, it's a ceremonial mace. and it is used generally for processions that are often relating to Parliament or formal academic occasions. Once the mace is placed in its holder, it signifies the official start of the program. So the mace carries significant value in ceremonies such as these. Of course, smiling faces, very important. We're seeing the Vice Chancellor, member of Campus Council, heads of faculties, of course, the University Campus Registrar, or Deputy Principal, our own Principal. And as they take their place on the platform, we see the mace bearer coming. Right behind that is the Chancellor. And that gown, that golden gown, resplendent. As he takes his place, she waits patiently, and then she places the mace in its holder. She will then take her place. This is where we end our commentary with you, the prelude. I'm Roger Bent. Have a good rest of day.
Good morning. Vice Chancellor Professor Sir Hilary Beckles and Lady Beckles, Chairman of the Campus Council, Dr. the Honorable Earl Jarrett, Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the UWI Mona Campus, Professor Dale Weber and his wife, Professor Mona Weber, Deputy Principal, Professor Ian Boxill, Pro-Vice Chancellors and Principals, University Registrar, Dr. Maurice Smith, University Bursar, Mrs. Andra McNish, Campus Registrar, Donovan Stanbury, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the academic staff, officers and members of the university community, distinguished alumni, Valedictorian Danielle Mullings, graduating class of 2022, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your graduation celebration 2022. A very warm welcome to all of you, and my heartiest congratulations to the class of 2022. You have the special distinction of having completed a significant part of your programs under rather trying circumstances. I commend you all for staying the course. It is now time to celebrate that hard work, and it is truly my honor and pleasure to greet you on this special day. First, I ask you to thank the loved ones who made this journey with you, your parents, partners, spouses, children. They have been there with you while you burned the midnight oil to prepare your course assignments and prepare for exams. You shared the confinement of the COVID pandemic and faced the many frustrations together. This is, for many of you, a collective achievement, and I urge you to find ways to express your gratitude to your most ardent supporters and cheerleaders. Even as we celebrate your accomplishments, most of you all would be asking, what next? Over the past 2.5 years, we have seen our world change. In 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic showed us how much can and cannot be done online. and the important role that information and communication technology plays in our daily lives. Our university pivoted to emergency remote teaching, and I applaud the leadership and staff at all levels for the tremendous work they did to ensure that you completed your programs and are able to graduate today. We saw the resilience of the virus as it mutated. We saw the response from global citizens, resistance as well as willingness to embrace the science and the vaccine in order to turn the tide against the virus. The mixed response has in part led to our new normal, a cautious coexistence with COVID, and a fervent hope that we have seen and are past the worst of the pandemic. The pandemic laid bare the social inequalities in our societies, and governments around the world and at home in the Caribbean are grappling on how to recover from this unexpected event. Economic recovery must take into consideration social issues, and our university and you, our graduates, have a role to play in how your communities and your country recover in this new environment. Then in February 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. This has far-reaching implications for global supply chains in our highly globalized world, as we have already seen. How well small developing countries, particularly those in the Caribbean, that are highly dependent on imports and fossil fuels, cope with the possibility of food insecurity, rising prices of basic items, and increased unhappiness, uneasiness, and deprivation among our citizenry will depend on the ability of our governments to apply the principles of democracy in managing our countries. You, our graduates, represent all facets of Caribbean society. The responsibility for fostering and nurturing those democratic principles in our society are now on your shoulders. That is not to say that you must undertake the role of government, unless, of course, that is your ambition. Higher education plays an important role in democratization of societies by encouraging graduates to be critical thinkers, to be objective in assessing information available, to be open to other schools of thought, in the hope that the information will be used for the advancement of our societies in which you all exist. Graduation is a time when those of us on this side of the ceremony view with enormous pride the procession of graduates across the many disciplines. The wondrous gathering of brilliance represents so much promise for the betterment of our societies and economies. You have much responsibility to carry forward, but I have faith in you. Your determination to make a difference. I have alluded to the challenges you faced to complete your programs and make it to this day. You are strong, resilient, determined, and I am so proud of all of you. Many of you will be thinking of how you convert your degrees into a career, increasing your visibility, or maybe getting a promotion or a new job? What are the options available to you? Traditional careers have transformed and now encompass so many new exciting areas. Many of the professions today did not exist 10 years ago. And in 10 years' time, the jobs of today may no longer exist. Entities such as Forbes magazine and the World Economic Forum have been tracking the trends in careers and making projections about areas that are fast-growing and with high earning potential. Some of these are expected: information technology, healthcare, financial management, and data analytics. I encourage you to look forward into the future and take advantage of all of these changes and developments in order that you may have successful and fulfilling careers in this new global environment. I ask that whatever you do in the future must be impactful, done to a high standard, with a commitment to advancing not only your personal interest, but the interests of the communities where you live. I urge you to be kind to yourself. We often forget the importance of taking care of our own health. In today's new operating environment, mental health is as critical as physical well-being. I encourage you to look after yourself. Hold fast to your dreams while at the same time having your feet firmly planted in reality. Give back to your alma mater. There are many ways in which you can do that are not financial. There are multiple ways and opportunities to contribute to ensuring that the work and reputation of the University of the West Indies remains high. Wherever you are, the Alumni Office will reach out to you. There are chapters in most of the contributing countries, and in many of the countries to which our graduates gravitate. Please remember where you started and what this university did for you, and continue to stay connected and support the cause of educating the young of the West Indies so that they will be able to achieve greatness. This leg of your academic journey is done. You are the lights of the West. Go forth and show the world the brilliance of this region that we all love so dearly. Congratulations to you all, and thank you. We are met today in order that we may mark by a formal ceremony the entry of certain of our members into the company of graduates and the academic achievement of others. As a university, we are an academic society of fellows. We are an academic society of undergraduates, bachelors, masters, and doctors. And we follow the academic tradition in the pursuit of the knowledge and the encouragement of learning. Purposes which are laid down in the preamble to the Royal Charter by which we were given the powers needful for the prosecution of our affairs. In pursuing these aims, our members advance from time to time to a higher standing in the academic community, and it is proper that as a body we should celebrate their advancement. It is marked by the granting of a degree or diploma or license or certificate, and we rejoice with our graduates on their achievements. The university singers will now perform. I would like to give a special welcome to Minister Marlene Malalu Fort, the Minister of Legal Affairs and Constitutional Reform, who is with us today. Please give her a round of applause.
Chancellor, the persons whose names will be called studied in the University of the West Indies, and having fulfilled the requirements of the University of the West Indies, beg leave to be presented to you and to the Senate of the University by the representatives of their respective faculties as Bachelor of Science or as holders of diplomas of the University of the West Indies.
Sir, the Dean, Faculty of Engineering, Dr. Adrian Lawrence.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive as graduate members of our society these persons present who, having fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science Engineering of this university.
But it is already vested in me. I receive these persons whose names are about to be called and those who are unable to attend as graduate members of our society.
Sir, for the degree of Bachelor of Science Engineering, I present Kadar Afflick, Aquino Allen, Joshua Anderson, Marie Anderson, Uziel Anderson, Danielle Barkley, Sir, with first-class honors, Brenton Bartley. Martinille Bartley. Kyle Billings. With first-class honors, Matthew Bloomfield. Devonnie Brown. With first-class honors, Ronaldo Castanero. Joshua Chumlee. Nathan DaCosta. John Mark Daly. Jordan Alexander Dawkins. Romaine Dixon. Torn Dixon. Sir, with first-class honors, Janelle Edwards. With first-class honors, Shantae Hall. With first-class honors, Courtney Ann Hanson. With first-class honors, Deandra Holness. Justine Hughes. With first-class honors, Janelle Hurd. Chase Ivy. Kai Clark. With first-class honors, Dervon Miller. Ajane Baines. Ashley McFarlane. Alyssa Jolly. Jolly Josephs. Sir, with first-class honors, Okino Donaldson. Stefan Howard. Sir, with first-class honors, Ganga Lahaja. Javar Leslie. Sir, with first-class honors, Lawan Martin. With first-class honors, Michaela McKenzie. Akira Miller. Sir, with first-class honors, Adam Minot. With first-class honors, Jaleel Morgan. With first-class honors, Alexandra Myrie. Deshaun Nation. Lori Ann Palmer. Valencia Parchment with first-class honors. Kyle Pottinger with first-class honors. Ebony Smith. With first-class honors, Nicholas Smith. Shamar Suarez. William Stevenson. Miguel Tape. Sir, with first-class honors, Janelle Thames. Najee Wallace. Sir, with first-class honors, Danielle Williams. Janelle Burrell. Onandi Williams.
Institute for Gender and Development Studies, Mona Unit, Dr. Karen Carpenter.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive as graduate members of our society these persons present who, having fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been admitted to bachelor's degrees offered in the Institute for Gender and Development Studies of this university.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called, and those who are unable to attend as graduate members of our society.
Sir, for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Gender and Development Studies, I present Cherie Cox, Jodianne Inararity, Easton Lawson, with first class honors, sir, Titania Williams, Nicolette Wright, Devon Bruce,
Sir, the Dean, Faculty of Science and Technology, Professor Michael Taylor.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive as graduate members of our society these persons present who, having fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been admitted to bachelor's degrees offered in the Faculty of Science and Technology of this university.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called, and those who are unable to attend as graduate members of our society.
Sir, for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Science and Technology, I present Brianna Alain, Hassana Al-Saba, Javian Anderson, Tehaya Arjun, Britannia Arthurs, with first-class honors, Jordan Ashman, Shazam Austin, Ashley Bailey, Imani Bailey, with first-class honors, Brianna Baldy, Aldane Barrett, Kasian Beckford, Michael Beckford, Nathan Beecher, With first-class honors, Naomi Benjamin. With first-class honors, Tawana Benlos. Okaro Bennett. Theodore Bennett. With first-class honors, Netfa Blackwood. Kayla Blake. Ronaldo Blake. Chanel Blake. Ramoya Bowen. Gardine Brooks. Amanda Brown. Damar Brown. With first-class honors, Lavandra Brown. Cassia Brown. With first-class honors, Omari Brown. Rena Brown. Kyle Burke. With first-class honors, Alexandria Burnett. Shante Burton. Matthew Burton. Javel Byfield. Rashid Callum. Tyra Cameron. Alyssa Campbell. Kavinia Campbell. Conroy Campbell. Danielle Campbell. With first-class honors, Patrice Campbell. Ramon Campbell. Sharika Campbell. Tiffany Campbell. Kimon Chan. Kayla Chatnath. With first class honors, Samantha Chin. Tony Ann Clark. Kadane Codner. Hadil Brown. Renford Cohen. Chriselle Crosgill. Brianna Da Costa. Arnaldo Daly. Brittany Daly. Abigail Davis. Matthew Davis. Amoy Dawkins. Sharina Dare. Ricardo Dixon. Brandon Dennis. With first class honors, Bradley Dodd. With first class honors, Kimoy Marie Douglas. Jonte Borland. With first class honors, Lindsay Dowers. Michaela Drysdale. Christoph Dawkins. Janelle Douglas. Nicholas Deans. Krishna Edwards. Amani Elliott. Dana Elliott. Soyini Elliott. Verlissa Elliott. Romaine Graham. Rhoda Essien. Ashley Fletcher. Janelle Forsyth. Sean Foster. Shannon France. Leon Gill. Tiffany Garrick. With first class honors, Georgina Gohagon. Aria Goodridge. Justin Gooden. With first class honors, Kabian Davidson. With first class honors, Michelle Davies. Anisha Gordon. With first class honors, Jamelia Gordon. Renee Gordon. Dennis Gold. With first class honors, Crystal Graham. Chevanese Brown. Shanique Graham. With first class honors, Jason Gale. With first class honors, Dimitri Grant. Tiffany Grant. Shanalee Garth. Anna K. Green. Kimani Francis. Errol Green. With first class honors, Okelia Green. With first class honors, Amika Gordon. With first class honors, Ayana Hall. John Ross Hamilton. Kelia Handy. Khalees Hare. Morgan Halstead. With first class honors, Cheyenne Harriott. Loyan Hall. Zara Harris. With first class honors, Jada Horton. Shamoya Haywood. Samara Suarez. Tanique Hendricks. With first class honors, Monifa Henry. Sarah Henry. Ricardo Hickling. Kevon Hines. Shakira Hopkins. With first class honors, Delia Howell. Vanya Hume. With first class honors, Jason Hunter. Marlon Hutchinson. Joel Amory Hilton. Jody Hilton. Abigail Ivy. Javoy Hackas. Chantel James. With first class honors, Marlon James. Jory Japp. With first class honors, Sydney John. Afridi Johnson. Tariq Johnson. With first class honors, Aaliyah Johnston. Rogeria Jones. Kimani Ladrick. Moyan Martin. Brandon Larmond. Danielle Laws. With first class honors, Sebastian Lawrence. Giselle Hall. With first class honors, Chanel Limonius. With first class honors, Ronaldo Latiboder. Zachary Lee. With first class honors, Luken Lewin. With first class honors, Shavona Lewis. Tracy Ann Lewis. Raman Lewis. With first class honors, Justin Lynch. Casila Malcolm. Danielle Malcolm. With first class honors, Christopher Martin. With first class honors, Roger Martin. Leonard McCrae. Deja Manning. Ashori Mackenzie. Moses McPherson. Imani Miller. Malik Miller. With first class honors, Shannon Miller. Shelul Miller. DeAndrew Moore. Kitania Morris. Thalia Morris. With first class honors, Danielle Mullings. Jessica Mundy. Kelsey Murray. Rashid Myrie. Nardo Nash. With first class honors, Ashley-Ann Nelson. With first class honors, Matthew Palmer. Michael Pearson. Ashley Perkins. Victoria Parag. Okelia Parchment. With first class honors, Nadisha Pinnock. Chloe Piper. Danica Pitter. Donya Hummels. Tamalee Pottinger. Noel Powell. Stuart Powell. Felicia Powerful. Akeem Puria. With first class honors, Roma Rajwani. Janessa Rankin. Christina Ribot. With first class honors, Nicoy Redwood. Orette Reese. Kahania Reed. Deandra Reynolds. Jordan Rule. With first class honors, Anna K. Richards. With first class honors, Kyra Akila Richards. Leandro Richards. Shaquan Ricketts. Sabrina Ricketts. Dana Ashley Roberts with first class honors. Christopher Robinson. Dania Robinson. Janelle Robinson. Dominique Campbell. Esther Ehikamenor. With first class honors, Najon Robinson. With first class honors, Shaquan Robinson. Rashida Rock. With first class honors, Kalia Lee Rodney. With first class honors, Matthew Pierre Rogers. first class honors, Roger Ross. Shanae Douglas. Ronaldo Salmon. Javed Samuels. Javon Samuels. With first class honors, Michael Samuels. Monique Satchwell. Brittany Scott. With first class honors, David Scott. Kiara Shannon. Michelle Sherwood. With first class honors, Joel Simpson. Shay Marie Small. Danielle Jennings. Sanya Spence. Michelle Spence. Fredrina Smith. With first class honors, Paul Smith. Britannia Simpson. Janice Soares. Aliyah Spencer. Jashana Spencer. Olanzo Lamy. Vanessa Hines. Alethea Henry. Davika McLeish. Kyle Sterling. Kimberly Stewart. Maria Soku. Tavia Sutherland. Carissa Swaby. Aisha Taff. With first class honors, Gennardo Taylor. Shandine Gray. Shantika Taylor. Davina Thomas. Vanessa Swaby. With first class honors, Anna K. Graham. Shawneel Ferron. Akeelia Thompson. Shaneel Thompson. Kadeen Tyser. Onifa Walford. With first class honors, Marissa Roach. Anissa Walters. Sean Isaac Watson. Jonathan White. Matthew Jordan Winter. Kobe Colleen Wilcott Thompson. Aja Williams. Deborah Williams. Mitty Lee Millington. Lori Williams. Myosha Williams. Damari Williamson. Tiffany Williams. Ashley Wilson. Jordan Wilson. Tiana Wilson. Safra Ann Wint. Maisha Woolery. Akeem Wright. Glendine Witter. With first class honors, Kevoni Young. With first class honors, Michael Young. Robin Young. With first class honors, Nahida Zeman. Chantel Young. Ronil Barrett. Vanessa Halliday. Kesia Erskine. Janelle Thompson. Natasha Campbell. Joanna Belmar. Michaela Excel. Shamara Harvey. Maria Mackenzie. Danny Boyle. Lacey Ann Smith. Chrysanthia Martin. Kajay Page. Davion Wilson. Shannon Brown. Sojourner Smith. Cassanique Solomon. Akeem Whitehead. Kirina Hills. Chantal Walker. Juanita Lawrence. Emilia Hayden. Yakeem Folks. Cassia Escoffrey. With first class honors, Zaria Russell. With first class honors, Shavane Clark. Toya Pinnock. Rashawn Patterson. Serena Harrison. Tashna Gale Williams. Aliyah Bromfield. Jevanil Marshall. Yolande Richardson. Tomoya Vernon. Gabrielle Clark. Deandra Grant. With first class honors, Brianna Tibby. Kima Sterling. Carl Francis. Jordan Cooper.
Sir, for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Gender and Development Studies, I present Kendra Johnson.
Sir, the Dean, Faculty of Sport, Dr. Akshay Mansingh.
Sir, my colleagues and I ask you to receive as graduate members of our society these persons present who, having fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Sport of this university.
By the authority vested in me, I receive these persons whose names are about to be called as graduate members of our society.
Sir, for the degree of Bachelor of Science Sport, I present Anil Campbell, Melissa Fletcher, with first class honors, Carol Guthrie Campbell, Janelle Guy, Devontae Hall, with first class honors, Nashana Morris, with first class honors, Sadie Rose,
I now call on the valedictorian, Ms. Danielle Mullings, Bachelor of Science. Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering with a minor in Film Studies, first class, to deliver the valedictory address.
Chancellor, Mr. Robert Bermudez. Vice Chancellor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles and Lady Beckles. Chairman of the Campus Council, Dr. the Honorable Earl Jarrett. Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the UWI Mona, Professor Dale Webber and his wife, Professor Mona Webber. Deputy Principal, Professor Ian Boxhill. Pro-Vice Chancellors and Principals, University Registrar, Dr. Marie Smith, University Bursar, Mrs. Andrea McNish, Campus Registrar, Dr. Donovan Stanberry, Minister Marlene Malahoo Fort, members of the Diplomatic Corps, members of the academic staff, officers and members of the university community, distinguished alumni, the illustrious graduating class of 2022, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome. Coffee sings, "Can't ball in a life, man." But I know that all of us sitting here have shed some real tears. Because on this journey, we all went through it. Now, some might say cried through it, laughed through it, fought through it, or maybe you fling your shoulder and stir fry through it. However we got through this journey, there were still moments in which we questioned ourselves. And so, for example, a show of hands, who remembers those hacker ranks in first year computing? I think some of us are still trying to solve the Laylogs algorithm. Or for our math students, let's talk about the never-ending problem papers. But we also have some famous words from Dr. Morgan. As we all know, maths is stronger than... Now, there is one word that across some of our departments you can't escape, and that word is labs. Some of us had 2-hour labs, some of us had 4-hour labs, some of us had 6-hour labs. And with each lab came weekly lab reports. Now, for a civil engineering student, who remembers the geomatics course when you're taking measurements on the road and have to step out and direct traffic same time? Or other engineers who had to cross their fingers, hoping that electricity wouldn't go before the 3D print of your enclosure is finished. Whether it was the days volunteering by the sports medicine clinic, early morning training sessions by the Bowl, or the presentations on popular culture and gender policy reviews in IGDS, we all had moments in which we wondered if we could really make it to exactly where we are sitting today. But here we are. We made it. Every one of us should be proud. We are a class of graduates from 3 different faculties and an institute, each quite diverse in thought and training, but sharing the distinction of possessing greatness. In front of me sit future scientists, gender advocates, engineers, sportsmen and women, all constituting a resilient and impressive set of emerging leaders. We survived the same deadline pressures and conquered exam season anxiety. We overcame financial issues, and as everyone knows, we thrived despite a global pandemic. Our year group only got the freshers' experience for a semester and a half. In a flash, we watched as the world changed before us, forcing us to change as well. The struggle to find our classes on the spine became a fear of losing Wi-Fi or a temperamental device that shows the blue screen of death right as you're about to submit your assignment. This period has taught us the importance of online etiquette. Every class now started with the famous Zoom words. Can everyone hear me? Is everyone seeing my screen? In fact, I remember being in a class and my lecturer sheepishly asked, Which student has the username Too Cute for Life? Is that on your birth certificate? From Auntie Jackie's stall on the Spine, morning patties from Juicy, a Whopper cheese combo from Burger King, and corn dogs from Nardo's, it all became distant memories. Many of us logged into online classes from all over the world as we found an inner discipline and strength that we didn't know we had. When you think about it, you realize that this year group has been tested more than any before it, and so can only be more resilient and more ready to face the world's challenges. We took flight on the wings of change, and though they may have altered the path, they never altered our destination. Resilience and adaptability have become second nature. This is who we are. Last year, I had the pleasure of being elected to serve as your guild president, running on the slogan, "One of us for all of us." It gave me the opportunity to see just how much it took to effectively operate the Mona campus and just how hard our administrators are working, even when we don't see it. Today, we are thankful to them, our senior administrators, lecturers, tutors, faculty members, hall administration, and our security and ancillary staff. You taught us not only about academia, but also life, and this has enabled us to proudly walk across the stage today. For students, I learned that we come from all social backgrounds and perspectives. Did you know that a whopping 70% of us are the first in our families to attend university? If you're one of these students, a first-generation student, please raise your canister high and wave them as we all applaud you. The unwavering support of our parents, family, and friends kept us going throughout our years here. To all our loved ones, thank you. We are eternally grateful. Finally, my key takeaway was that as students, we are stronger together, as there is far more that unites us than divides us. I saw the impact that collective and collaborative advocacy could have on our community. It reminds me of something that someone once said to me, and I'll share it with you now. He said, when university students take themselves seriously, they become a deep well of electrifying potential, waiting for the day that they can be unleashed on our Caribbean society. Well, my fellow graduates, today is that day. Let's get to work, building a society founded on equity, resilience, and sustainability, where there's adequate funding for our athletes and we prioritize the physical and emotional well-being of our people, where we engineer innovations that champion environmental sustainability and prove truly accessible for all, regardless of gender or socioeconomic background. A society in which women are encouraged to be in STEM, sports, and leadership. Let it be known that the class of 2022 is coming to make good trouble and spark a revolution of the good kind. My fellow graduates, don't underestimate your light, no matter where it rises from. Always remember your worth and display your full potential. Never forget that even in the face of unprecedented circumstances, we have proven that we're not normal. A lie? We are rich in innovations and ideas. A lie? We are powerful pelicans, ready to fly on those wings of change like never before. And so I close in the profound words of local poet Romario Ricketts, also known as Lali. Pelicans, I charge you now to go forth, take flight, and let go the bird. Thank you.
Sir, I now call on Professor Marcia Roy, Director of Graduate Studies and Research, to present to you members of our society for the award of higher degrees.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who haven't fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been awarded postgraduate diplomas, or have been admitted to master's degree, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on those persons whose names are about to be called, and those who are unable to attend, the degrees attend postgraduate diplomas and master's degrees of this university and recognize their advancement in our society.
Sir, for the Masters of Science, Applied Data Science, I present Denishan Armstrong. Pamelita Bennett, with distinction. Clifton Lee, with distinction. Murray McCoy. Cherise Ross. Chantal Roy. Sir, for the Masters of Science, Enterprise Risk Management, I present Giselle Bennett, with distinction. Chevelle Burchell. Stefina Douglas, with distinction. Monique Green. Marvin Harvey. Esther Lewison, with distinction. Kamara Malcolm, with distinction. Chantel Peart, with distinction. Janique Reed. Shiloh Waite. Sir, for the Masters of Science, Food and Agro-Processing Technology, I present Gayan Malloyd Graham, with distinction. Sir, for the Masters of Science, Mathematics, I present Andrew McCartney, with distinction. Sir, for the Masters of Science, Medical Physics, I present Sharika Hall. Sir, for the Masters of Science, Occupational and Environmental Safety and Health, I present Michelle Matthews. Tika Noons. Damian Rowe, with distinction. Melisha Thomas Brown. Sir, for the Masters of Science Sports Medicine, I present Lorian Miller, with distinction. Yannick Weeks. Sir, for the Masters of Science, Gender and Development Studies, I present Keisha Patterson Campbell, with distinction. Soba Pepple. Sir, I present to you these members of our society who haven't fulfilled the requirements of the university, have been admitted to degree of Masters of Philosophy, and beg that you recognize their advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer those persons whose names are about to be called the degree of Master of Philosophy of this university and recognize their advancement in our society.
Sir, for the Master of Philosophy, I present Peter Gay Harris, Geology. Kimberly Kaur, Marine Science, with high commendation. Candice Brown, Physics, with high commendation.
Sir, I now call on Professor Audrey Henry Lee, Pro-Vice Chancellor, Graduate Studies and Research, to present to you members of our society for the award of higher degrees.
Sir, I present to you these members of our society who, having fulfilled the requirements of this university, have been admitted to the degree of philosophy, and beg that you recognize them advancement in our society.
By the authority vested in me, I confer on those persons whose names are about to be called, and those that are unable to attend, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy of this university, and recognize their advancement in our society.
Sir, for the Doctor of Philosophy, I present Physics, Lawrence Brown.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations.
Beverly Brown Smith, Environmental Management.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations.
Chemistry, Mark Collins.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations.
Marine Sciences, Dexter Dean Cahoon.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations.
Environmental Biology, Candice Dusant.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations.
Biotechnology, Kimberly Foster.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations.
Computer Science, Sean Miller.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations. Well done.
Botany, Fredian Murray.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations.
Thank you. Gender and Development, Cynthia Peter.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations. Well done.
Chemistry, Lilylette Scarlett.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations. Well done.
Gender and Development Studies with high commendation, Nadine Spence.
I recognize your advancement in our society. Congratulations. Well done. I now call
Sir, I thank your indulgence. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, Science and Technology, I present Onika McCormack.
I now call on the President of the UWI Alumni Association, Jamaica Chapter, Mr. Dwayne Haynes, to lead the graduates in the Alumni Pledge.
Good morning to you all. It is my distinct pleasure to invite the graduating class of 2022 to stand and recite together the UWI Alumni Pledge, which can be found on page 98 of the graduation program. Whilst you locate the pledge, I would like to officially welcome you to the UWI alumni family. I invite you to become engaged alumni who show Pelican pride and are involved in the life of the campus as guest speakers, supporters of sport and hall events, mentors, recruiters, promoters, and advocates of the university, and much more. Let us now begin to say the pledge together. As a graduate of the University of the West Indies, I commit myself to uphold the ideals and goals of my alma mater. My conduct and voice shall reflect the commitment to excellence of the light rising from the West. As I fulfill my social and professional responsibilities and serve my community and region, I will strive to ensure the UWI's place as a Caribbean icon, the catalyst for Caribbean development and leadership. It is a legacy that I will help proudly build for future generations. The UWI, first in our hearts and first in our region. Heartiest congratulations to you all.
We will now sing the UWI song, and it would be led by the university singers. It's on page 99 of the booklet. Class of 2022, this brings to an end the public ceremony by which the university acknowledges and signals the awards of your degrees. However, before we leave, I would like you all to turn and face this back of the tent where your family and friends and loved ones are, and give them an enormous round of applause. The company will now disperse, but please allow me and our invited guests, along with the platform party, to leave first and go and have a wonderful life. You deserve it.